Thanos. Thanos was right. Half of y'all need to go.
That's it. That's the meme. That's why I was like, low key, if you ask people, it'll be a 50-50. Because this has gotten more and more like half of y'all actually have to go.
That was every time.
All right, so today we got villains that were low-key onto something, and this popped up on my recommendation, and I always love these type of videos. I'm assuming there's like some sort of, you know, like a villain video analysis. Here's the thumbnail though. We got Madara. Was he right? I think Madara is one of the greatest villains of all time. He did lose to plot armor, number 2. Ever since he got introduced or spoken about, actually, it was like, oh my god, there it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he has so much aura. He's menacing. He's, you know, it's Madara. But was he right? I don't think so though. Maybe the idea of what he was trying to do, like give everybody the life that they thought they deserved in their head or something. But when it all comes down to it, he wanted to put everybody under a spell, right? The ultimate Tsukiyomi. Seeing it from the outside, like, bro, this just looks like brain dead people being in La La Land. You know what I'm saying? Like, then we have Gustavo right here. I believe this is from Breaking Bad. I did not watch the show, so I don't know how right he is, but I'm sure he'll explain it. And then we got Thanos. This one, same thing with Madara, right? Thanos, the way he got introduced, the way that he was spoken about. When you see him, aura, boom, defeated the Avengers. This one makes sense. I like this. I think he was right, bro, because some of y'all, man, need to be snapped away. I'm just joking. I don't really want to play God like that, but if you really ask people, I generally believe this might be a 50-50. Some people will be like, yeah, bro, snap them in half. Might as well snap the whole earth. I think Thanos wasn't that bad. I do think he was right. Anyways, shout outs to Nasu, right? There will be a link to the original video down below. Let's check it out.
Hello, and welcome to the Los Pollos Hermanos family.
Pollos
My name
Hermanos.
is Gustavo, but you can call me Sus.
Every hero needs a good villain. In most hero
Oh wait, sorry.
stories,
I'm laughing too much. What do you
It's
say?
Gustavo, but you can call me Sus.
every hero needs a good villain.
Yes.
In most hero stories,
Oh!
it's pretty.
I left that out of my intro. Every hero needs a villain, but not just a villain, a good villain, because that's what creates a good story. I mention this all the time, how if you want a good anime, show, movie, whatever it is, whatever source of media, and that includes a hero and a villain, you need to have a good villain. That's what makes the story good. It just sucks when there's a hero, then a villain, and the hero defeats the villain from a random power-up, or because the power of like just bullshit. If you have a good villain with a good backstory that's actually menacing and aura-like, or teaches a lesson, or maybe shows why they became a villain, and you as the viewer can understand it in a way, that's cinema. You know what I'm saying? So yes, every hero does need a villain. Sorry for the yapping. I don't know. Like I said, I like these type of videos.
Pretty much a given that the good guys win and the bad guys lose.
Yes.
Nobody's watching a Spider-Man movie on the edge of their seat thinking how Peter Parker could die at any given moment.
Yeah.
That's not where the intrigue comes from. These stories are carried by their characters.
W villain.
Especially
W
the primary
actor.
villain responsible for inciting the conflict that drives the story. A hero is only as strong as his villain. Not in the sense of physical strength, but the strength of their character. We've all seen baddies who are evil just for the sake of being evil.
Yeah.
Or who have goals like world domination, because hey, that's just what bad guys do. When the villain plays so heavily into cliches, they end up feeling like they exist solely because the heroes need something to defeat.
Exactly.
Which sometimes is the case, but you only gotta make it so obvious, like lie to me or something. The
And
greatest
the thing is, when every show is like that, it gets boring. Like there's a fatigue to that, so then it becomes predictable, right? You watch the movie, you watch the show, it's like, yeah, this happened to her early on, we know who the villain is now, this person is then gonna get stronger and defeat the villain. Okay, you can't get away with that though if the journey to beating the villain is filled with not just progression, right? Like linear progression, but a lot of ups and downs. Maybe suspense, or something's happening, everything's going great, and then boom, you're hit with something. You know what I'm saying?
lie to me or something. The greatest villains in fiction are those with believable motivations. Not necessarily ones you agree with, but ideas where you can look at the villain and be like, yeah, I can see how you got here.
Yeah.
In reality, right and wrong isn't so black and white. A little dash of moral ambiguity goes a long way to humanize an otherwise purely evil character and creates a much more compelling narrative. I want to go through a few of my favorite empathetic villains and make sure they're up to Pollo standards.
Yeah.
Starting with one that absolutely no one is surprised to see, Thanos. Thanos was right. Half of y'all need to go.
That's it. That's the meme. That's why I was like, low key, if you ask people, it'll be a 50-50. Cause this has gotten more and more like accepted. Like people are actually saying, you know what, Thanos was right, bro. Half of y'all actually have to go.
With every time I open twitter.com. Follow me, by the way. And to be honest with you, I can't say that I disagree. What's crazy to me is how Thanos came to such a brilliant conclusion without even having to visit that godforsaken website. Thanos' home planet of Titan was plagued by overpopulation. As the inhabitants increased, resources dwindled, and it ultimately led to the planet's demise. Thanos offered a solution.
Genocide.
Yeah, random.
Dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike.
But the people rejected his plan, died anyway, and Thanos said I told you so and hit a Fortnite default dance on their bodies. After seeing what happened to his own home, Thanos made it his goal to gather all 6 Infinity Stones and use them to enact his plan on a universal scale, so no one would ever have to suffer the same fate as his planet. His cause was noble, but there's just one problem with his plan. It's shit. Even if he managed it on a planetary scale and killed half of everyone on Titan, the population would eventually bounce back. So this plan is something that has to be applied at regular intervals rather than being a one-time fix-all. Also, a lot more than half of all life is going to die, and it's quite possible that several planets will go extinct as a direct result of the snap. On Earth, people were snapped out of things like driving a car or piloting a plane,
which can then lead to more death.
Also cause millions, billions, or trillions of indirect deaths. Some people may get off with just an injury.
True. Honestly, I never thought about it like that. I only ever heard it from just the question, was Thanos right? You know, you would say yes. But then if you really think about the plan, which obviously he's doing, never heard of it like this. Let's say you snap a pilot. Who the hell going pilot the plane? Now imagine times that by however many planes are in the air. That's you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
So they can go to the hospital and
there are no
half of our doctors are gone.
Yeah.
We lose essential workers like healthcare providers, truck drivers, farmers, or even Twitch streamers. People are resources too.
Hey, I ain't
people
streaming today.
Managing things like food and water cease to exist, those resources are gone as well. There will be less mouths to feed, yeah, but also less hands to feed those mouths. I know I'm not the first to say it, and I sure as hell won't be the last, but what was so wrong with doubling the universe's resources instead of having the people? Don't get me wrong, that's not a flawless plan either.
Oh no.
It would still prolong the whole everyone wondering where their next meal will come from for several more years at the least.
That's true.
Wondering what your next...
Yeah, that one, I saw it from that point of view too. Like, yeah, why not double the resources and just keep the people? But apparently that's gonna speed up the progress of the overpopulation, because then it's gonna be more overconsumption. Overconsumption means more progression at a much faster rate than halving the people and then progressing slower or something. I guess both sides have pros and cons to it.
Next meal will be doesn't have to be a problem with this video sponsor, HelloFresh. Hey,
HelloFresh.
What do you want to get for dinner? I don't know. I don't really have a place in mind. I already made us dinner with HelloFresh. Are you telling?
Hey, W Cook, you know what I'm saying? Get you some HelloFresh. There'll be a link somewhere right here, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nasu, use his code FIRE.
Something that a lot of MCU viewers don't know is that Thanos' motivation behind the snap was very different in the original comics. It was much simpler. Instead of killing half of the universe to prevent overpopulation, he did it to impress a girl. In the Marvel comics, the personification of death is represented by a woman, and Thanos is obsessed with her.
Oh,
She's
that's
entirely
right.
responsible for the Mad Titan that everyone
and Deadpool did something with death too, I believe.
Obsessed with her. She's entirely responsible for the Mad Titan that everyone knows today.
Yeah.
Thanos was originally just some nerdy kid with purple skin. As a teenager, he carried out the first 2 murders in the history of his planet Titan because death told him to. 2 murders turned into 17. And then he killed his own mother and destroyed his home planet.
What?
He continues his rampage throughout the cosmos, killing everyone from superheroes to his own children, all while being strung along by a flimsy promise from death to eventually be with her. And honestly, this is
your whole life. Wait, what was the promise?
Along by a flimsy promise from death to eventually be with her. And honestly, this is a villain motivation I can get behind. Restoring balance to the universe out of some twisted sense of altruism, who can relate to that? Chasing somebody with no interest in you, now that's relatable.
But the
Not
whole
for me,
galaxy
I'm built different. So how did she react to all the blood he shed for her? Huh? yeah, that's cool, or whatever. If you really love me, you would eradicate half the universe. So, he tracked down all 6 Infinity Stones, built a shrine for her, moved entire planets to spell his name, and snaps half of all life out of existence. What did she think about this?
No.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess. I'm gonna go with Deadpool.
I told
Yeah,
you!
he did not like that. On the top of this mini-
Oh my god. Thanos, your whole life though. From when you were a little boy and you did all that and you still ain't get no cheeks, bro. That is not relatable. No, that is not relatable. I'd rather see my planet get devastated because of something I told them to avoid and they didn't avoid, and now I said I told you so, and then I grew up and I said I bet I'll do it myself. Not the comics, bro. What?
genocide for a white woman, we have Vlad Dracula Tepish from Castlevania. Being the vampire of all vampires,
Oh, I love
Dracula
this.
is a natural
Yes.
enemy to humans and lives in isolation from them.
Yeah.
That is, until he meets Lisa, who he falls in love with and marries. She urges him to integrate himself into human society to better understand them, and he agrees. Until the church arrests Lisa for practicing black magic,
Which was
also known as
science.
It moves on its own.
and they burn her at the stake.
Yup.
Half of y'all? Nah. All of y'all gotta go. Dracula releases his horde of demons and begins his purge of the entire human race. He believes that humans are a species whose very nature is to lie, kill, cheat, and steal. And
Till
the
this
world would
day.
be better off without them.
Till
From the
this day.
perspective of a creature at the top of the food chain in a world where humans don't occupy that spot, I get it. He perceives them as lesser than.
Yes.
I'm sure there are plenty of people who would nuke spiders off the face of the planet with no regard for the impact that will have on the ecosystem. And I'm gonna
Wait,
keep it real
yes.
with you. As
Holy
a-
shit, I actually hate spiders. But anyways, thinking about Dracula and what he did, right? So I watched another video analysis on how he's a great villain, and I said a fire bar. It was like, you took my everything, so I'm gonna take everything from you. I forgot what I said, but it was a bar, bro. But this I agree with, and this is relatable. You took my everything, the thing I love the most, off something so stupid. So now I'm gonna show you a lesson. This is something I could get behind. If I had his powers or I was him, yo, bro, I'm sorry, Earth, but you gotta go. Yo, humans, you ought to go, bro, because that is human nature, to lie, be selfish, kill, whatever, do weird shit. Not that I do that IRL, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
And
I agree with this,
you.
bro.
As a human myself, I'm not a big fan of these human guys either. And these particular humans killed the only human that he ever actually cared about,
Yup.
which he uses as justification to end all human life.
Yup.
Even the innocent, because
There are no innocents. Not anymore. Any one of them could have stood up and said no.
Yep.
We won't behave like animals anymore.
well, yes, but actually no. Someone could have stepped up to the church and tried to stop it, but they'd swiftly be given a nice warm spot right next to Lisa. The church is corrupt, and the show goes to great lengths to hammer that point home. Whether you're religious or not, I think everybody can acknowledge the importance of the separation of church and state. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and
Yeah.
men of the cloth are no different. When a religious leader is also the head of state, they may start to act as if they themselves are the religion, and pervert the message with things that were never there for their own self-benefit.
Yeah.
Imagine walking into a Chipotle and being like, God said you should give me an extra scoop of— get the fuck out. Okay. So yes, Dracula's right that humans lie and cheat, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any innocent.
Innocent,
The
yeah.
villain that actually presents
Yeah.
the best point.
So
is this
that was the other side to it. So yeah, you could agree with him, but why does the entirety of humans have to go? Because there are innocent. Not everyone, right? Not every single human hurt your wife in this sense, right? Yeah, I agree with that as
cheat,
well.
but
Duh.
that doesn't mean that there aren't any innocent. The villain that actually presents the best point is this particular demon who kills the bishop in episode 4.
She was a witch.
Lies in your house of God. No wonder he has abandoned you. But we love you. We couldn't be here without you. Let me kiss you.
He then gives him a smooch on the cheek and tucks him in goodnight.
That's a bar from that demon.
Naruto is a series in which there aren't really any evil villains, just a bunch of people with good intentions who are a little misguided. Okay, maybe very misguided.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
I
No
was
one is
gonna
just
stop
pure
you there,
evil.
yeah.
They're all acting out their own brand of justice. That is, of course, until Naruto gives them a stern talking to with the classic talk no jutsu. For example, Pain, one of the show's most notorious villains,
Yeah.
seeks to unite the world through, well, Pain. He grew up in a country ravaged by war, and he's seen firsthand the mindless death and destruction it brings. Because of this, he aims to create a weapon of mass destruction that he'll use to effectively nuke the world and unite everyone through shared pain, and deterring all conflict through fear.
So the reason why I really love Pain, wait, let me just skim through this to see if he's actually going to talk about him. Somebody that reminds me of Pain is Lelouch from Code Geass, which is my favorite anime of all time. Number one, I don't care. He is a great main character who you can perceive as a hero or as a villain, and I'm about to spoil. So 3, 2, 1, thank you. They're both kind of similar. Pain wants to unite the world through pain, right? By making himself the common enemy so that every nation can come together so in a way to defeat him. Lelouch does the same thing. He unites the entire world with the same interest of trying to get rid of him. So he makes the entire world his enemy by trying to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So they all unite to get rid of the tyrant. Meanwhile, it was all with intent. Like, it was all calculated. I don't know. It's beautiful. So that's why I actually like Pain when like I heard about him, or when he just like came out.
Pain, and deterring all conflict through fear. I think Pain is an amazing villain, but I can't say I see the vision. His heart's in the right place though. A villain with a much less painful approach to ending all suffering is the final antagonist, Madara Uchiha, who aims to cast an illusion on the entire world, which forces everyone into an eternal dream in which they live out their ideal lives. That doesn't sound all that bad, but unsurprisingly, the heroes all reject this idea. Of course they do. Even though they're offered paradise, they choose not to accept it because it's not real, or at least not what they know to be real. No one wants to be plugged into the Matrix. This phenomenon is exemplified by philosopher Robert Nozick in his thought experiment, The Experience Machine, which posits that humans don't just chase pleasure. If presented the opportunity to enter a simulated reality far better than the current reality, most people would not enter the simulation.
Exactly, because bro, well, I don't know what he's about to say, but looking from the outside, imagine seeing this. Imagine you walk in somewhere and they're like, oh, here's our happiness, eternal, beautiful dream machine. And you picture yourself in it. Look at this. This is depressing, bro. This looks like no, let me just experience life. I'd rather do that, whether it's good or bad, whether it ends fast or I live till I'm 90, whatever. I'd rather just experience it, bro. I don't want to be stuck in here. This looks depressing.
Even with its suffering, still holds an intrinsic value that makes it better than the purely pleasurable simulation. However, I don't think that this proves people don't want to be in the Matrix, but rather people just don't want to know they're in the Matrix. Even if the solution that Madara offers is a better one, aka a perfect world in which Boruto never exists, everyone will reject it simply because they already know it'll be a dream. No one wants to willingly plug themselves into the Matrix. Another execution of this plan is the final arc in Persona 5 Royal, which I know just released on all platforms, so a lot of people are playing it for the first time. Big spoiler warning ahead for y'all, so this is your chance to skip ahead.
I've been told to play Persona games. Problem is, this would be something that I would have to do off stream or off whatever. It would have to be something for myself because, bro, this game is, oh my god, hundreds of hours long, which is good, right? Which is good. It's not YouTube friendly in a sense that, like, if a new person tries to play Persona, it's just not worth it because, you know, views wise, especially me, like, this is what I do full time. So for me to play Persona, bro, like, it's just not worth it. But yeah, spoiler, by the way.
Much like Madara, the final villain of the game, Dr. Maruki, uses his powers to create an ideal world where everyone is living their best life. The only difference being, he didn't have to kill anyone to do it, and that he didn't put everyone under a dream spell. Maruki quite literally just changed the very fabric of reality. He didn't plug people into the Matrix, he took the Matrix and made it real. By taking control of the collective unconscious and altering everyone's cognition, Maruki was able to erase everyone's trauma and even bring people back to life.
Holy shit, wait, hold on.
Don't think about the details too much, it's anime magic.
Yeah.
But of course, just like in Naruto, our heroes vehemently reject his idea. Why? Even among our group, the Phantom Thieves, everyone but the protagonist was shown a perfect life that they were content to indulge in until they were woken up by the player character. Their experiences in this world are indistinguishable from their real-life experience. Besides, Maruki is literally giving the masses what they want. Earlier in the story, when the Phantom Thieves went too hard against the grain, the collective unconscious literally chose to wipe them from existence in order to maintain the status quo. People don't want to wake up, and who the hell is this group of teenagers to decide for them? They confront Maruki and drop bars like,
"But what about the people who want to take on the world themselves? How knows it right to rob them of their opportunities.
True.
Well, as everyone made very clear earlier, that's just you. What about this guy? Did you ask the guy living with glass bones and paper skin, 1 kidney, 1 testicle, no living relatives, and 99 cents to his name?
Yeah.
How badly do you think he wants to return to reality and take the world head on? What is your power of friendship doing for him? Sure, Maruki's a bit of an egotistical asshole with
Yo,
a god
I like this
complex,
video
but
already, bro, because this is showing me a different perspective that I didn't really think about, or that I guess anybody else presented, you know? Yeah, this is
so
good.
what? His own trauma motivated him to free others from theirs. And what exactly is so inherently evil about giving people exactly what they're asking for? The game does give you an optional ending where you can accept Maruki's world, which I think is great, but the story doesn't do much to try and give his stance much validity, which is unfortunate because I think it would have really fleshed out the game's themes of individuality and personal autonomy. Next up, we got Black Panther's Eric Killmonger.
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie gotta have the most preventable villain of all time.
Literally.
Given a look into his origin story in the prologue, where the previous Black Panther is forced to kill his
This
own...
was heavily accepted by people, not just because it was Michael B. Jordan. Well, no, yeah, I'd say because it was Michael B. Jordan in a sense. Like, you would watch this and you're like, you know what? This is okay. Like, whether Killmonger won or not, I feel like people, especially those that aren't really too in tune with like the comics, that just go and watch the MCU, they would have been like, yo, they would have been okay with this.
Leaving his son Eric an orphan. Now, after killing his bro, does he A, bury the body and take his nephew back to Wakanda, or B, bury the body and leave his nephew in the US, but take care of him from the shadows? Nah, let's leave the body there for the child to come find, thus traumatizing him and then forcing him to figure out how to support himself into adulthood.
Yeah.
What was the reason for this, you may ask?
I chose my people. I chose Wakanda.
Bro, that is literally your people. Wakanda has this motto of not within our borders, not our problem. Look at these African children seemingly living in poverty just outside the border. Or are they just actors put here by Wakanda to keep up the image that they're a developing country? Either way,
Probably.
they're outside the line,
Yeah.
so fuck them. Wakanda has had vibranium for millions of years, which means they sat through the slave trade while being the most technologically advanced society and plugged their ears going,
None of my business. It's none of my business.
apparently, their motto
Oye,
also applies to
delicioso.
their own flesh and blood. Killmonger wants to take Wakanda's resources and help the rest of the world. And can anyone really disagree with him?
Yeah.
Now, he wants to do that by starting a race war. You had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Wait,
The
what?
X-Men film series is one of incredibly inconsistent quality, but one constant is Magneto. No matter
Oh,
the
that was
movie,
it?
I always
Oh,
found
I
him
want
to
him
be
to
an
expand more of that. I thought that's what he just wanted, to open up Wakanda to the rest of the world. He feel like he deserves to be the new king, and he wanted to like lead with more aggression. Like, yo, bro, this is me, bro. I'm Killmonger. Let's do it. A race war.
He wants to do that by starting a race war. You had me in the first
Maybe I
half,
gotta
I'm not
rewatch
gonna
it.
lie. The
I
X-Men
forgot.
film series is one of incredibly inconsistent quality, but one constant is Magneto.
Yeah,
No matter the
fire.
movie,
This is
I
a
always
good
find
one.
him to
X-Men
be an
Origins.
incredibly compelling villain. Another constant with these movies is the perennial struggle between mutants and non-mutants, and usually leading a group of radical mutants is Magneto. And can you really blame the guy? Surviving the worst genocide in history, having his mother killed in front of him by non-mutants trying to exploit his powers, trying to live a quiet life and having it all ripped away from him once again. If there's anyone with a valid reason to start a race war, it's this guy. I'll never get over the irony of telling a Holocaust survivor to excuse men just following orders, which gave us one of the coldest lines in the entire franchise.
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
Attack on Titan, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not about to defend mass murder for like the third time in this video. Or am I? Gurren Lagann is an anime which epitomizes started from the bottom, now we're here.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
the characters literally start
Tekken, Topa, Gurren Lagann, Galaxy, whatever. This was so beautiful, bro. I have the drill that will pierce the earth. Oh my. No, that would pierce the heavens.
from below the bottom. And at every stage of the show, the villains provide much more convincing arguments than the heroes. They live in a world where all the humans live
Fire.
underground in fear of creatures known as beastmen, who roam the surface killing humans indiscriminately. In one of the underground villages, they only have enough resources to support 50 people, so anytime they exceed that population, people are chosen at random to leave to the surface. It's not the most compassionate solution, but hey, it gets the job done. The alternative is to let the number continuously grow and eventually suffer food shortages. It sets an upper limit, so it's still a better solution to overpopulation than Thanos had. The main characters don't offer a better solution and just kind of say, hey, this is bad.
Simon and who's the other one?
Beastmen are also performing their own population control. By killing humans who reach the surface, they keep the world's population under 1 million, because reaching 1 million could spell the end of the human race. Again, the heroes just say, this is bad, stop doing this, and kill the leader of the Beastmen. Fast forward a decade, and humans have gone from this to this, and the population hits 1 million, triggering the protocol set by an alien race to eradicate humanity. Apparently, the rapid evolution of the human race is due to an energy known as spiral power, and the overuse of this power will eventually lead to the end of the universe, and this is what the aliens are trying to prevent. Once again, the humans offer no alternative solution and just kill the final villain. Village running out of resources?
We don't give a damn about that.
Humans evolving too quickly?
We don't give a damn about that.
Causing the death of everything in existence?
We don't give a damn about that.
I'm trying to live.
The end of the universe? Nah, that sounds like a problem for later. You could show the main cast of this anime this picture, and their answer would unironically be simply handle the situation. Trying to present them with any logical argument is just going to end up with you 6 feet deep. Next is Silco from Arcane, the best villain in anything I've seen in recent memory.
Wait, what did it have to do with the villain though? I thought he just explained a story. Yeah, them trying to keep the population under 1 million. Okay, understandable. Sorry.
Later. You could show the main cast of this anime this picture, present them with any logical argument, is just going to end up with you 6 feet deep. Next is Silco.
This was a good one.
The best villain in anything I've seen in recent memory. The man isn't afraid to play dirty. He'll lie,
this
kill,
I
and
understand
betray to get
100.
what he wants. And what he wants is independence from a progressive city built on the suffering and exploitation of his people. A goal more real and understandable than most villains in fiction. He only really sheds blood when he needs to, and ultimately reaches his goal through diplomacy. Some people had complaints about the new Batman movie and all the changes that they made to the villain. But I couldn't disagree more.
This got
Batman
overturned.
stays true to the villain that he's always been and continues his trend of bullying and beating on the mentally ill. While far from a noble cause, I respect the writer sticking to the source material, and at the end of the day, hey, he doesn't kill anybody, so it's a-okay. For a villain with the most...
I feel like this one, a lot of people had something to say about the new Batman, but I feel like everyone agreed that like it's actually not bad, and they're waiting on the next one. And then I also heard the Penguin, the show, is really good too.
Continues his trend of bullying and beating on the mentally ill. While far from a noble cause, I respect the writer sticking to the source material. And at the end of the day, hey, he doesn't kill anybody, so it's a-okay. For a villain with the most tragic origin story, I gotta give it to Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Neither of his parents showed up to his own birth. With a backstory like that, man, you could be up to the most devious, nefarious evil deeds, and the world would simply have to understand. Next is Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda. I mean, I get it.
He's even talking about Zelda?
Triple F doggy doo-doo stinky 2-pack of ass tier character in a Smash Bros game, I might have to start my own villain arc. And last but not least, the one that everyone's been waiting for. We got Arthur the Aardvark. In terms of an empathetic villain, it really doesn't get much better than this. Arthur had a tough childhood, and he's had to live with the shame of being related to DW.
Maybe there's a contest for lonely children after this. It's only children, DW. A lonely child is what you're gonna be when I sell you.
What the hell?
That alone is enough to send most people off the deep end. But to top it all off, he's a knitter.
He's a
knitter!
A knitter? Don't repeat that line. Don't repeat that word too many times. Yo, this video, not only did it provide a video analysis or character analysis on each character, but bro, Arthur, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, Arcane, hello? Everyone that I speak to about anime never brings up Gurren Lagann. The fact that he spoke about this, hold on bro, I'm dropping a like. Magneto, haven't seen that in one of these videos as well. Killmonger, yeah, cool. Persona, bro, no, there's aura in this video. Like, this guy knows. Ultron spent one day on the internet and decided humans needed to go. Can't say I blame him. That is another one. Gus being a villain doesn't really matter because he made good chicken. As someone once said, the best villains are individuals who could have been the protagonist of another story. Facts. A lonely child is what you're gonna be when I sell you. Bro, I never heard that before. The worst part about the Lisa's death was Dracula gave them 1 year. Oh, that's right. Dracula gave them 1 year to flee the land before he begins to body people. But instead of doing the reasonable thing and fleeing the country, they chose to celebrate the day of his wife's death instead, which was also the day that Dracula was going to body them. By the way, the anime is called Castlevania. They never said sorry for it, right? Not that apologizing would do anything, but like imagine they spent that whole year like apologizing or we're wrong, this and the third, trying to just make something for it. Oh, Dr. Doom would actually be a cool one too. Castlevania has so many moments where the villains are right and the conversations Isaac has with his night creatures are so good. Yeah, Castlevania and Dracula is one of the ones that I actually like genuinely agree with. Fire video, bro. I genuinely truly enjoyed this one. But yeah, link to this one will be down below. Go check it out. And yeah, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one.